Hi everybody, I'm Gareth Senior. Welcome to Leeds TV. I'm going to be with you throughout the season, hopefully an exciting one, to present a few bits and pieces, hopefully some good insights and interviews as the season goes by, and hopefully see some huge progress on and off the field. It's 27th of June today. We're going to talk a little bit about Bielsa and the changes at the club over the last few weeks, which have been massive. I have to say that it's looking on paper quite exciting. So we're going to have a little chat about him, what we think. I'm self-filming this, so apologies if the quality is not brilliant, but doing my best. So they're in the third day of training today. It looks like he's working them really hard already, which is great to see. And we'll soon sort the wheat from the chaff and who can play into his new system and who's going to be dedicated and fit enough. I think it's a great appointment by the club. I think it's a massive step forward if we look at the last appointments that we've had over the last few years really. It's the biggest appointment that the club has probably ever made since the Revie era. It's comparable with Brian Clough and Jock Stein, and it's certainly a Wilkinson type appointment where they're bringing in somebody who is a disciplinarian, somebody who will make them work hard, and somebody who knows how to win. Whether at the minute we've got the squad that's capable to fit into what he wants to do, then that's a little bit debatable. But as he said already in his first press conference on Monday, then he knows he needs to bring in 4 or 5 players. I expect him to bring in 4 or 5 first team players. We all know we need it. But his squad and certainly his formation is going to be really interesting, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about his formation and use the old art of Subbuteo to try and demonstrate some of it. I'm no master tactician, but we'll give it a go. So the sun's shining. England are progressing well in the World Cup. We've won our first 2 opening games. We're playing Belgium tomorrow night. I'm going to make a bold prediction and say 1-1 in that one, but England are going to go really far in this World Cup. The brand of football that England are playing shouldn't be too dissimilar to the stuff that Bielsa likes to play. The formations are pretty similar, and the roles that he likes to get people doing are pretty similar. So I've been going to Ellen Road since the 70s. I'm a home and away season ticket holder. It's very rare that I'll miss a game anywhere, so I guess I'm a bit experienced in all this, and I've seen a lot of it before. But genuinely, this could be a massive turning point for the club. Let's all keep our fingers crossed. I look forward to seeing you over the season. Get in touch with the guys at Leeds TV if you want to contribute anything at all. Comment on the YouTube channel below if you've got anything to say, and if you want to make any contributions, like I say, just get in touch. Anyway, good luck. Here's to us all moving up forwards, getting back up into the top flight. But here's looking forward to a good few signings coming in, and let's look forward to an exciting season. All right, see you all soon. Right then, so here we are on the Subbuteo pitch, going old school. Like I said, I'm no master tactician, but I'll do my best to try and represent El Loco, the mad one, Bielsa's 3-3-1-3, explain how it works. First of all, I just thought I'd show you around some of my Subbuteo pitch. Handmade by the great guys at Flick for Kicks. If you're interested in anything like this, then just drop them a line. You'll find them on Twitter, that's where I found them. And then they'll discuss any table football requirements with you. I should be far too old for this, but I'm not. Anyway, so back to these 3-3-1-3. High tempo, attacking, possession based. Those are the key rules with it. And we've already heard from Pochettino, Guardiola and Diego Simeone on how they respect Bielsa and call him, the godfather of football, and he's been a massive influence on their careers. And hopefully, as the press keeps saying, they might let us have a few players over this summer to help us through this season. Bielsa, it's his formation that he's played for 99% of his management career. He will swap it around a little bit if he needs to. But one thing again that links him back into the Revie era is that he's obsessed with preparation and looking at how other teams play and set up. And he will adapt things, but not much. He he needs pace in his side. You know, like I said before, possession is one of the things that minimum requirement. Very high pressing, so there'll be a lot of pressure put on. Teams in a formation will move a bit more defensive when we lose the ball, and we'll play with a very high back line. 3 centre halves, as you can see, there they are, old school Leeds kit, all lined up there, 70s Leeds. There's 3 centre halves. He always wants one more centre half than the opposition have attackers. So it's doubtful you'll ever see a team come at Welland Road and play 3 attackers. So I'm pretty sure majority of the time he'll be comfortable with those 3 centre halves there. I think they're playing a line. I don't think there's a deep sweeper or anything with it. I just think because he plays a high line, they'll all play, you know, roughly as a line of 3. He's not adverse to using full-backs as centre back because he likes them to be able to play the ball out. We will see a lot of the goalkeeper, you know, ball out from the keeper into, you know, back in here, into these defenders, and then he expects them to be skillful enough to knock the ball around, you know, between them and you know, keep control in this area of the field. Like I say, he'll use full-backs in there if he needs to, so, you know, we know that Ayling can play in that position. We've seen what a big lad that Pierce is, so he's a potential could drop in. But I think it's the one area where we'll see us strengthen over the summer, because I can't picture us having 3 ball-playing, comfortable centre-halves in the squad at the minute. Janssen could fit the bill. We're not sure what his future is, but there's potential there. Shaughnessy maybe. He looked a good prospect at centre-half, certainly not midfield. And we know that Cooper's a little bit jumpy with the ball. Our old favourite Kyle Bartley, if he does come back in, we've seen that he's comfortable with a ball. So I expect us to move and pick players up in those places. So then we move into, he has a holding midfielder. So he has a holding midfielder that will just sit and protect. We're lucky that we've got Forshaw, we've got Vieira, and we've got Phillips in the squad. So I don't particularly expect him to, you know, make any big changes in that area. And it's that job of that player there to shield those back 3, break down any attacks that come through, and provide, you know, defensive support. Then he plays, they make up this other 3 here. He's got his wing backs. So we've got the 2 coming in there. I think we've got ready-made players there already in Ayling and Pierce. I was surprised they've let Kyle go back to Fleetwood for 6 months, because I think it's a role that he could potentially play. But what will happen here is that when we're on the attack, you'll see these wing backs come up and keep pushing, and even potentially overlap the wingers that we'll move on to shortly. And then when we've lost possession, you'll see them drop back in and make a 5 up there, or a 5+1 there. So we'll always should in theory be strong at the back. So we're going to need fit people. We're going to need players with an engine, people that can get up and down the field. Like I said, they're going to have to be comfortable on the ball. They're going to have to cross goals, because he'll look for assists from these players without doubt. Okay, so now we move on to the to 1. So we've done the 3-3. I'll just move around and grab a 1. So how do we describe that? Well, the modern term, the Argentinian term, is I think they call it the enganche, which I think it translates as the hook. So it's a pivotal role in there. Because I'm old, I'd refer to it as an old style number 10, a Tony Curry, a John Sheridan. Try to think of players we've got in there now. I expect somebody like Hernandez will sit in there. Maybe Saiz, those types of players that you can give the ball to, that can drive it forward, that can create something, and then can bring in these next 3 players into play. So his final 3 is your 3 strikers that we've got there. So that's pretty much how the formation will look. So these strikers will want them to be interchangeable. He'll want to be able to, you know, to be able to bring his main striker out wide and his wide ones to drop in, and so on and so forth. And again, when we lose possession, they're going to expect to get back into formation and also drop back into these parts here when, you know, when the opposing teams are on the attack, just to make it a more compact. And we've got in effect then a 5-1-3-1 or even a 5-1-4 when when we're defending, or he might even drop another one back into a 5-2, because he always likes to outnumber. So it's a very fluid formation, and like I say, his wingers, there's going to need to be pace in the side. It's something that we've got a little bit of pace in people like Alioski and Sacco. We don't particularly have much of an end product from them, so I think that'll be something that he'll look to build on and exploit, and look in the market to get better players to suit those attacking positions. We all know that we need a goal scorer. We don't have an out-and-out goal scorer. I'm a bit of a fan of Ekuban, and I think he's got pace and he's got power, but unfortunately he just can't find the back of the net. We know Grot struggled. We haven't seen Roberts, but I expect he could be a really good wide player in this front three. Alioski's got the ability to play in that front three, but it's good that we've been linked with people like Abel Hernandez. Don't be surprised to see somebody like Saiz go. I'm not sure whether he'll fit into his ethic, but I could be wrong. He might have changed his his attitude over the summer and come back a different player. But another key thing to note, and another thing that you'll pick up if you watch any Premier League stuff, I don't watch a lot, but you see it with Man City, with these three players that play up in these wide parts areas of three. He'll ask them to stretch the game, and we'll often see at least one of them on the touchline. If one's on the touchline, say down that left-hand side there, then expect to see this one from the right-hand side here, moving in to join. And that's something that we've lacked when we've had the balls wide this last season. We haven't had enough firepower in the box. But one of his key things with this formation is keep people wide, stretch the pitch and see, and stretch the opposition. So it's going to be really, it's going to be a challenge, for us to learn it as a side, but it's also going to be a challenge to defend against, because there'll be no side in this in the Championship that's used to playing against something like this. So pace and width. Like I say, he'll use a high press. So when we lose the ball, in any of these areas, and people will drop back in, but they'll form a line there. People at the back will push back up until the attack moves forward, and then we'll see them start to drop back into the more natural positions like that. But just he wants players to be flexible and interchangeable. So I'm really looking forward to watching it. I hope you've found it semi-interesting. I've had to do a bit of research online and nick little bits from other places to understand it. I hope it's helped a little bit. Hope you like my Subbuteo table. I love it. If anybody fancies a game, then always open to challenge. So look, let's have a great season, and see you all around soon.